What's up, everyone? Today, I'm going to break down the exact sales funnel that took me from 0 to 10 million in under 4 years. And here's the thing, it's probably way simpler than you think, but the execution is where most people fail. Before we dive in, I want to address something that might save you years of frustration. You know how you've probably bought courses before and they didn't make you money? It's not because the courses were bad, it's because you're missing other pieces of the puzzle. Think of business like a bridge. Each skill is a brick. And if you're missing even one brick, you can't cross that bridge to your first dollar. But here's what really held me back initially. I was trying to perfect everything before I started. I was stuck in ready, aim, fire mode when I should have been following ready, fire, aim. The difference, get started fast, then improve as you go. So here's the funnel that changed everything for me. I call it the webinar funnel. And honestly, this is all I've ever done. It's all I know, and it's what I believe in for launching products. This follows what business expert Michael Matterson calls your optimum selling strategy, finding the one way that works best for your business and doubling down on it. Here's how it works. You get traffic online from two sources, organic content and paid advertising. In my case, I have a co-founder who's also my wife. She attracts attention from Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook through valuable content. All that traffic gets funneled into a masterclass, but here's what most people get wrong. They think this is just a presentation. It's not. It's a carefully orchestrated psychological journey that follows a specific structure. The presentation has three main phases. First, there's the setup, which takes about 15 to 20 minutes. You start with a hook to grab attention immediately with a bold promise. Then you address their pain, their current struggles, and here's a key insight. Pain is twice as motivating as pleasure. Next, you tease them by giving a glimpse of the solution without revealing it. Then you position yourself by establishing your credibility. Finally, you present a paradigm, a completely new way of thinking about their problem. The second phase is the content, which runs 45 to 60 minutes. This is where you deliver what I call the mechanism, the 3 to 7 vital inputs that create their desired outcome. You're not just teaching here, you're building belief and getting micro commitments throughout. The third phase is the offer structure. This is where most people fail because they just pitch their product, but there's a specific formula. Core plus price plus bonuses plus risk reversal plus scarcity. Let me break this down. For the core offer, you can present this two ways. Either the one thing approach where you tell the story of how the product came to be, or the keys to success framework where you say to succeed with this outcome, you need these 3 to 5 things. Then reveal how your product provides exactly those things. For price strategy, never just state a price. You need anchoring. Start high and then bring it down with a reason why. Show them what it would cost to do it themselves versus investing with you. Bonuses are crucial. Your bonuses often matter more than your core product. You need 7 to 9 bonuses across different modalities. Training, templates, coaching, software, community access, done-for-you services. Make them exclusive, things they literally cannot buy anywhere else. For risk reversal, use either a money-back guarantee, a conditional guarantee, or even better, a better than money-back guarantee where you pay them if they don't get results. For scarcity, the price goes up, bonuses expire, or the offer closes completely. But you need a believable reason why. Most sales don't happen on the webinar itself. You need email sequences, replay strategies, and objection handling for the next 5 to 7 days. Now, here's what most people don't understand, and this is crucial. The funnel itself is simple. I just explained the framework in a few minutes, but the implementation, that's where it gets complex. You need to master commitment psychology throughout your presentation. I'm talking about getting micro commitments every few minutes. Would you agree? Does that make sense? Isn't that interesting? Because when someone makes small commitments, they're more likely to make big ones. You need to handle objections before they even come up. There are 6 universal objections: money, time, competence, alternatives, procrastination, and product-specific concerns. Address these in your content, not just your close. And here's something most people miss. You need what I call commitment bridges between your content and your offer. You can't just jump from teaching to selling. You need powerful statements that put an exclamation mark on your content and set up your offer perfectly. The brutal truth is that this webinar structure I just outlined, it typically runs 90 to 120 minutes total. Most people aren't willing to present for that long, and that's why they fail. Your number one priority in the beginning isn't perfecting your product or building fancy systems, it's mastering this sales presentation. Because as Michael Matterson says, 80% of your time should be spent on selling when you're starting out. Think about it this way. If you went to school for 4 years and spent $100,000 on a degree, you probably can't do much more after graduation than you could before. But if you spent that same time mastering this webinar structure and building the supporting skills, you'd be light years ahead. So if you want to implement this funnel, here's what you actually need to master. Content creation. You need to consistently create valuable content that attracts your ideal customer. Email marketing. Building and nurturing your list before the masterclass. Presentation skills. Your webinar needs to follow the psychological sequence I outlined. Offer construction. Building irresistible offers with the 5-part structure. Objection handling. Addressing concerns before they derail your sales. Fulfillment. Actually delivering results for your customers. But here's the key. Don't try to master everything at once. Start with the minimal valuable version of this webinar structure and improve as you go. I launched my first webinar when I was terrible at presenting, but I got better by doing, not by preparing endlessly. Here's a mindset shift that changed everything for me. Stop looking for the one thing that's going to make you rich overnight. This webinar funnel isn't revolutionary, it's been around forever, but it works because it follows human psychology and gives you a systematic way to provide value first, build trust, and make an offer to people who are genuinely interested. The key insight is understanding that 80% of your success comes from mastering the setup, not the payoff. Most people spend all their time perfecting their product when they should be perfecting their ability to communicate its value. When I buy a course or attend a workshop, I know I'm going to get value because I commit to finding something useful, even if it's learning what not to do. That perspective has been worth millions to me. Look, this webinar structure I've shared with you represents years of testing and optimization. The specific techniques around commitment psychology, objection handling, and offer construction, these are the real secrets behind 8- and 9-figure businesses. But here's what I've learned from studying successful entrepreneurs. They all share one trait. They're willing to fail fast and adjust quickly. They understand that taking imperfect action with this framework beats perfect planning every single time. Remember, ready, fire, aim. Get your basic webinar running, even if you don't have all the advanced techniques down, then optimize based on real data from real customers, not theoretical perfection. The bridge analogy I mentioned earlier, this webinar structure is your bridge. Master this one selling system, and you can build any business you want around it. If this shifted your perspective on building an online business, hit that subscribe button. I'm breaking down everything I know about building wealth online, one video at a time. And remember, stop waiting for the perfect course or the perfect moment. Start building your webinar using this structure today, even if it's not perfect. Focus on getting your first profitable presentation running, then optimize from there. Most importantly, start selling something today using this framework. Your business education happens fastest when real money is on the line and you're applying these psychological principles in the real world. I'll see you in the next video where I'll break down the exact email sequences that convert webinar attendees into customers. Hit the link in the description if this video was helpful.